Bear was 6 years old when the baby came home. He had been the center of the household in the way that large, patient dogs become the center of households, not demanding attention, but present in every room, a warm constant in the background of every morning and evening. He slept at the foot of their bed. He waited at the front window when either of them came home from work. He was, in the specific language of people who love their dogs, their first baby. Their actual baby was named Lucas. He arrived on a Thursday in November, 7 pounds 4 ounces, pink and loud and entirely unaware of the large black dog who met them at the door when they came home from the hospital. Bear sniffed the car seat. He sniffed the blanket. He sat back on his haunches and looked at Kevin with an expression that Kevin could not interpret. Not quite confusion, not quite recognition, something between the two. Then Bear went to the nursery and lay down. He did not come out for dinner. Kevin's mother, who had flown in to help, said the dog was sulking and he would get over it. Kevin put a bowl of food near the nursery door. Bear ate it without getting up. They put the camera in the nursery after the first week, mostly for monitoring purposes. Kevin downloaded the app on his phone and watched the feed in bed after he got up for the 2 a.m. feeding, checking in the way that new parents check everything, compulsively, without a clear purpose, driven by the need to see that things are still where they left them. On the fourth night with the camera, Kevin woke at 2:40 and reached for his phone before Lucas had made a sound. He did not know what woke him. He opened the nursery feed. Bear was standing. He had been lying for 6 years, and suddenly he was standing, positioned against the crib, nose pressed near the top rail, head angled down. Not his normal sleeping position. Not his normal anything. Kevin watched the feed for 2 full minutes. Bear did not move. He simply stood and breathed in the direction of the baby. Then Bear turned and walked directly to the bedroom door and pressed his nose against it. Kevin opened it. Bear turned and walked back to the nursery. Kevin followed. Lucas was in the crib. Had been awake, Kevin realized, for long enough that his face was flushed, his arms moving in the small, effortful language of a baby, trying to cry, but not quite able to produce the sound yet. His breathing was fast and slightly labored. Kevin picked him up. He felt warm, warmer than the room. By morning, Lucas had a fever of 102. Their pediatrician, when they called at 8 a.m., told them to come in. She ran tests and told them Lucas had a respiratory syncytial virus infection, RSV, which in a 4-week-old baby was something to take seriously. She told them they had done the right thing by catching it early, before it progressed. Kevin did not tell her about Bear. He told his wife Sarah when they got home. Sarah was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "He knew." He stood up before Lucas even cried. "He was there before we heard anything." Kevin said, "I know." Sarah said, "How does he know these things?" Kevin had no answer for this. He was an accountant. He worked in certainty, in columns that balanced, in numbers that behaved. He had no column for this. What he knew from the research he did in the following days was that dogs have olfactory capabilities approximately 10,000 times more sensitive than humans. They can detect chemical changes in human breath and perspiration that no instrument currently manufactured can reliably replicate. They have been documented in published scientific literature, detecting hypoglycemia before it becomes symptomatic, detecting certain cancers in their early stages, detecting the biochemical precursors to seizures in humans who have epilepsy, detecting a respiratory infection beginning in a month-old baby in the dark through a closed door. This was within the documented range of what a dog's nose was capable of. Bear had not been sulking in the nursery for a week. He had been on post. Kevin stood in the nursery doorway that evening, watching Bear lie in his spot on the floor, watching Lucas sleep with the even breathing of a baby who was on the mend. He said quietly, to no one in particular, "Thank you." Bear's tail moved once against the carpet. Then he settled his head between his paws and closed his eyes. Lucas slept through the night for the first time that night. So did Kevin, for the first time since Thursday.